Hello children, how are you? Hello children, it's a great day today. Hope you're all doing great. Now today's story is The Snail and the Whale. And it's written by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Alex Schiffler. I hope I've said that right. And it's called The Snail and the Whale. This is a tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is the rock, black as soot. And this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. Can you see there she is? These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock. Be quiet, don't wriggle, sit still, stay put. But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed and then cried, I've got it, I'll hitch a lift. Hitch a lift. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a slithery trail that looped and curled and said, Lift wanted around the world. Oh. This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, Come sail with me. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to the towering icebergs and far-off lands. See some penguins there, look. And some seals. With the fiery mountains and golden sands. Some dolphins, look. And a volcano. And some monkeys. Can you see what's down there? A turtle. These are the waves that arched and crashed and foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed. The tiny snail on the tail of the whale, look, there he is. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam around the whale and the snail on his tail. Oh, that looks a bit scary. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning and flashing and frightening, the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. That looks a bit scary, look. And she gazed at the sky and the sea and the land and the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, I feel so small. But then came the day the whale lost his way. Oh. This is the tide slipping away. Uh-oh. He's gone too close to the shore, hasn't he? Oh no, look, he's out of the water. And this is the whale lying beached in the bay. Quick! Off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land, I'm too big, moaned the whale. And the snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. Where can she be going to? This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children to come in from their play. This is the teacher holding a chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with an itchy foot. A snail, a snail! The teacher turns pale. Look, say the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of a tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. Oh. These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen and digging a pool. Spurting and spraying to keep the whale cool. Oh, look, they're keeping it wet so it doesn't get poorly. And this is the tide coming into the bay. And these are the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail travel safely away. There it is going back into the sea and they're all cheering. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock. Who said, how time's flown and haven't you grown? Look, they're all pleased to see him. And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars in enormous waves, and how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. They all want to go on an adventure. Oh, look. And they sang to the sea as they set sail on the tail of the great blue humpback whale. Oh, what a lovely story. So it doesn't matter how small you are, he helped and saved the big whale's life, didn't he? I love that story. I hope you all did too. See you soon. High five on the side, up above, down below. Too fast. See you soon, guys. Bye. Mwah.